Hello and welcome back. Are
Hey.
we back? Yay, we got
Yeah.
audio. Okay. I am so sorry about that. My mom usually doesn't call me this late in the evening because she's in Arizona. So they're like an hour ahead of us. I
Oh, okay.
think actually with daylight savings time, we might be at the same time. So she called me and then she said that she was in a really bad space. And
Oh,
then I
yeah.
found out what happened is she's frustrated with her phone. She's been trying to figure out how to use her phone and she was getting really frustrated with that.
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Okay, mom, it sounds like you're not in a bad place. You're okay." So anyway, I told her I'd call her back on Saturday, so we're all good.
Yeah. No
So
worries.
yeah, I'm so sorry about that. But
Yes.
when and usually I don't take a call in the middle of a stream, but when it's my mom and
Yeah.
it's this late at night for her, I said, okay, something's going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
That's totally
appreciate
fine. Yeah. No
yeah,
worries.
I appreciate you understanding. And but it was so weird. It's like I left and then your audio died and so I left you alone with my bricks. And then
Yeah.
I guess the chat couldn't hear you. And
Yeah. I couldn't hear you when you came back, so I was just like, oh, maybe she's
yeah,
muted or I don't know how it works.
it
So
was weird. It's like I came back and my audio was fine, but your audio wasn't
yeah. And
working.
then
So
they said they couldn't hear me, so I was like, I didn't touch
yeah.
anything. I don't know.
So I'm glad we're not going to change this stream. This stream, we're going to continue. And I left off on step 10. So this is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And
Same here. So
okay, so yeah, we just built like the perch
yeah.
for the parrot, and you can see that there's this extender. So there's a place for another axle to go in there.
Mm.
So that should be fun. But yeah, I think that's the first time that kind of technical problem has ever happened on this stream. So
Yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah.
first.
It happens.
Hmm. Well, I think it goes back to we're just doing this for fun. We're not expecting this to be like high production values, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is great because it's low pressure. Because I know some people have, when I've invited them to the stream, they go, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?" And I said, "Trust me, it's just like having a conversation with your friend. You
Yeah.
just you don't have to really get too nervous about it. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised and also concerned when my mom called. So I was like, I better take this.
And I'm
All
glad
right.
it wasn't like an emergency. So that's
Yeah,
good.
I was worried about that because when she says, "I'm so glad you answered the phone because I'm panicking right now," and I said, "Okay, I have to call you back."
Uh,
And then we sorted this all out, and yeah. So here's one of these wheel pieces, and the Lego Master tacos. She really likes this piece, and she did a 2-minute tech tip using this piece and some of those arms to make a sphere.
okay.
And I just took apart the set with the penguin, and it had one of these with a snowflake in it. And in fact, I think, did I keep it over here? I liked the snowflake, so I didn't take that apart. But I took everything else apart, but kept the snowflake. And I put it in a tin. Now I can't find the tin.
Uh,
It's just, I don't know if you get like this, but sometimes when you're working and you have all these pieces on your desk and you're just like, okay, I know I took this apart and I know it's somewhere,
oh
but
yeah.
it's not here. And I'm thinking about moving sometime soon. And I look at everything I have to move and I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't know.
Mm.
All right. Now I'm a little concerned because are yours yellow or are they
Yeah. They're like
white?
the butter yellow.
They're the butter yellow. Okay. Because I was
Yeah.
looking in the instructions, it looks almost white. So, okay, it is butter yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. See, that's another reason why it's good to have somebody else building at the same
Uh,
time. You're looking at this going, and yeah, so they did a similar thing with the penguin where they built almost like a snowflake, and there it looks like they're building something similar
yeah. I think it's some sort
where
of
we're
flower.
building. Yeah, like the flowery pieces here. Yeah. Aha! This is the point where we laugh at you because you cannot find a brick. Are you going to count those times? And Lena's here. Hey, Lena. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm just stopping before I fall asleep. Yeah. Actually, you just missed the drama that we just had. This is Brick Jedi's first stream, and my mom called in the middle of the stream, and I put myself into the back room, and I left Brick Jedi by himself with, you know, my down camera, but his audio failed for some reason. It was like when I left, the audio went bad, and it was like, so we had to restart the stream, and so we're back on track now. We're back in business, as they say. Yeah. But this piece, this spoke piece is something that can be used for so many different things. And it looks like they're using it, like I said, for a flower base. Yeah. Okay, so we have this, and then we have similarly these. Now, I don't think I've seen these in pink. These are those half curves. It's almost like a 1x2 slope, but it's a curved piece. So they have some of these now. And this is where PT laughs when I can't find some pieces. So we're using this 1x2 with a clip, and then adding this half dome kind of piece for that. Yeah, so that was an unexpected piece of drama today. I'm going to invite you to your first stream, and then I'm going to leave you by yourself and without audio. Congratulations. Welcome. Yeah, one day it would be nice to have like a really, you know, decked out studio with, you know, 4K cameras. Well, actually, in a way, I'm kind of glad I don't have 4K cameras, because then you see every pore on your face. Yeah, maybe don't want that. Maybe it's good that the camera gets blurry every now and then. I should be counting my blessings for that. All right, so we have this cool little flower now. I'll give my down camera center stage here. So that's really cool. And they have that butter yellow for the middle. And it looks like they, hopefully, did I put this in the right way? Hold it. Make sure I'm doing this right. I think I have this backwards. I think they want it this way. Yeah, I definitely have this, put it on backwards.
Oh, the slope piece?
Yeah, I put the slope on backwards. I want it this way because I want it upside down like that. So yeah, so that's what I get for trying to do this while talking, is that I have the slope in the opposite way. But this is why we have you, so you can show people how it's done properly. Now this is challenging because, okay, trying to change this out. The clutch power is really good with these, I will say that. But before the stream, I was snacking, and I was snacking on some potato chips. So I have like this residual little bit of oil. I mean, you always have oil from your own fingers, but I have just a little bit more. And I was like, oh, I washed my hands too, but you know, sometimes even the water and soap doesn't get all of it out. So I have a little bit of a handicap there too. But there we go. Okay, so now we have it this way. So that way you have the slope coming down. Oops. You have this slope coming outward like that. So the clip is on upside down. And then that way I think you can move these inward. to give it that kind of flowery look. That's my guess. Something like that. Okay. Oh, before I continue, we have another sub build. This sub build looks really weird. it's like a 1x2 with bar. And this is where you get to make fun of me, PT, for not finding the piece. Okay, here we go. So we have a 1x2 with bar, and we have an inverse 2x2 dark green that we're going to put in here. And then a 2x2 round plate, black. Yeah. Okay. Now, this one, I guess, goes underneath, right? You have it underneath, right? The flower.
Yeah.
And line it up with the pink. The bar is supposed to line up with the pink section, but it's not clutching the way I want it to. Okay, well, I don't know if I have to offset this by 1 or if I could just leave it like that. I think I could leave it like that, but if you look at the instructions, it looks like the bar is supposed to line up with the pink, the 1x2. But mine's lining up with the 1x1.
Oh yeah, you just have to rotate them all once, one over, I think.
Yeah, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't know if I need to, because I think the whole purpose of this bar is just to attach it to this clip here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna roll with it. Oh, maybe I can't because this other bar is in the way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to rotate them all. Oh man.
Yeah. I did that same thing.
Oh, you did the same thing? Okay,
Yeah,
so it's not just me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had to rotate everything over.
Yeah, just rotate
All
them.
right, it's not too bad. First world problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because if you don't rotate it, then the bar hits it, and that's not good. Okay, so we're gonna curve that in again. All right. So I don't know if GLS made it back. He was the one who was telling us, yeah, we can't hear you. And he called you the other guy. You can't hear the other guy, the other dude. Okay, let's see. I guess I have to push this down. Now this bar, maybe I need to rotate this because I have this bar that's in the way. I think I have to move this as well. I think I have to move this 90 degrees because I have a bar sticking on top. Well, no, I guess it doesn't matter. I think they're all going to be like that. Okay. All right, so that's, okay, that's better. All right, we have flower attached. That was a lot of effort for a flower, I will say.
Yeah.
You feel the same way, right?
Yeah, I felt the same way.
Yeah, you're like going, okay, is there another way you could have done that? Right. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for another flower on the bottom, but this one has brown for the stamens, right? So this is where PT gets to make fun of me not being able to find the unknolled pieces. Brown studs. Or are they're brown?
I think they're
right?
magenta.
Oh, they're magenta.
There's the little flowers. Yeah.
See, this is why it's good that we're building together because I'd be like, I still don't see those brown pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned this on Brick Hive stream the other day about they mentioned how the Indiana Jones set will not be released. The Temple of Doom. Yeah, they made it official. I mean, it had already been leaked, but I was really sad to. I mean, because people were like, "Okay, it's coming back. We're so excited." It's like, oh, but no, we changed our minds. We're not going to do it after all. It's like, really, really.
It's just the one set, right?
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's I guess, production and all of the other logistics that they have to figure out with all the different sets they're rolling out, but it's kind of like it's like bait and switch. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's like you get the user base so excited, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, we changed our minds. We're not going to do that.
Was there like some controversy or something over it? Or?
I have a feeling it must have been either production or pricing, or it's conflicting with something else that needs to go out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Is there something else? Probably a Star Wars set that needed to be produced first. Because Star Wars is much more important. Yeah, sorry, Star Wars fans. I mean, I like Star Wars too, but it's just sometimes it's like, how much light gray do you really need? There's so much light gray out there. That's why when I was talking to True North Bricks, he's a recognized Lego fan media, so they sent him the Eiffel Tower, and he said that was one of the most painful builds. It was 75 bags, or you looked it up, right? It was like 74 bags. That, and he said it was just by the time he was done, it was like, oh my God, there's still more to go, and it's all the same. It's just so monotonous, and then you have this big set, and you don't know what to do with it.
Right? Yeah, you gotta have the space for something like that.
Yeah, like where are you gonna put that?
Yeah,
so exactly. I think. So a lot of people, you get envious of these RLFMs because they get all those free sets, but they've got to build them, they've got to do reviews on them, and then they've got to figure out what to do with them later. They can't give them away as gifts because that's not within their policy. But I said, I know Tricky Bricks has done that, because remember the Home Alone set that they built it and then they gave it away as a prize. So I know some RLFMs have done it. So I just don't know, but he was a lot of fun to interview too.
Yeah.
So what kind of MOCs do you enjoy doing? What are some of your favorite kinds of builds?
I like building like vehicles, building a castle, classic,
Yeah.
And maybe like cyberpunk I try to do, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, I do builds and then I take them apart. Like I don't ever keep them, so I need
your MOCs, you mean?
Yeah,
because you keep your sets, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Quite a few of your sets.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to get into more MOC builds for sure.
Yeah, I need to get back into MOC building because we've got so many conventions coming, and I'm still on the fence about. I really want to go to BrickCon, but I have a lot of different expenses coming up, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Spot, hello, you're back. Steampunk makes for good fodder. Yeah, it does. Definitely. Yeah, we had technical difficulties here at the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And I felt bad because, this is Brick Jedi's first stream, and I had to, my mom called in the middle of the stream, and she never calls me this. I mean, this isn't really late for me, but it's late for her. So I said, okay, something's going on. And, but she was panicking over her cell phone. Because I can't figure this out, and I'm driving your brother crazy. And I just needed to talk to somebody. I'm like, okay, I'm glad it's not an emergency. Yeah. So it's kind of like she wanted to make sure her phone was working properly too. So I could say, yeah, it's working, Mom. Okay, so this is why knolling does make things go faster, because it took me a long time to find this 1x2 with bar. And so I just finished step 22. So is that where you are?
I'm on step 30 right now.
Okay, I told you I was a slow builder. That's okay. I had to redo my flower though, so I did have to backtrack a little bit.
The next steps are super, like, you'll go right through those pretty
fast. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh, I think I see what I did wrong. I put this bar way at the bottom. This was supposed to be on the middle. That's why I was worried, because this other bar was encroaching on this. I said, why did they put it down there? It's like, okay, they meant for it to be higher up.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is why I need assistance while I'm building. It's kind of like, yeah, talking and building is more challenging than people realize.
Oh yeah. I definitely appreciate it a lot more now, just even me trying to.
Okay.
You know, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like a little bit of a challenge, but
you have to talk. You have to engage with the chat.
You got to engage.
Build while you're doing this all. All right, I'm going to give myself full screen on this because I think this looks really cool. So we have these two flowers here, and what I screwed up earlier is that this little arm, this little wrench with a, let me see if I can find another one. Okay, I don't see it, but you can kind of see it. It's the wrench piece that has a little curved arm to it. So that clip attached here, and then we have another flower. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, see, people start appreciating what streamers do when they start streaming and talking and chatting and building, and yeah.
Yeah, you do pretty good with keeping up with the chats and building, so.
Well, thank you. I have a little bit of experience because I used to do movie reviews on the radio. So we would get callers sometimes who would call in.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd have to answer the questions. And there was a button that I used to have that was called the dump button. And
just hangs up on
if somebody started swearing on the air or said something they weren't supposed to say, then it will cut 15 seconds from what they were saying. And this happened one time. It was actually a guest, and you're not supposed to do self-promotion on the show. And then he started going, and if you want to learn more, then I hit the dump button, right? Because it was like he was going to go into his website and all of that. And he then I said, I'm sorry, I had to dump that. And he goes, you just dumped me. I said, yes, I did. He goes, well, at least you were gentle about it. Okay, I'm glad you're not upset. But I'm going to show this off. This is very sweet. But this is an easy technique too. So this is just one of those small limb pieces. And then you have two of those lily pad pieces. And in this case, they're the magenta color. I don't think I have very many of these magenta color ones. So you have two of those layered on top of each other. And then you just have a yellow stud. So that looks like, you know, a cute little flower right there. And we're supposed to make two of these. So, you know, sometimes it's even little techniques like that when you work on a set that can just give a little bit of extra character. And so we have these sprockets here, and I always laugh when I say sprockets. Did you ever watch Saturday Night Live with Mike Myers? He used to do this German character in a show called Sprockets.
I'm not too familiar with that one. But I do
Okay.
watch Saturday Night Live, yeah.
I'm laughing because it's just he had a couple. He would wear all black, and it was, since we were talking about steampunk, he was like a German punk rock reviewer, and he talked about music that made him feel like a little girl. And it was just really, really funny. And that was one of his little skits on Saturday Night Live. It's like, and now it's time for Sprockets. Just look up Sprockets, Mike Myers, and watch one of his little skits, and it's pretty cute.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, you should check that out. Okay, now this piece. All right, I'm gonna have to do a close up of this, because this I think I've only seen on vehicles, like on motorcycles and things.
Oh yeah, that's where I've seen that too.
Yeah. So I think this is this next piece that's going to go into that with a axle. So we have this black axle, and that's going to go in here and onto this. Right? Did I get that right? It looks like, or was there supposed to be a pin? No, I think that's right. So this thing spins. Does yours spin? Or no, I was supposed to put a pin in there?
Yeah, the blue one.
The blue, not the black. Okay. All right. Just goes to show you. Okay, this is where PT gets to make fun of me not finding. There it is. Okay, so this is the axle on one side and the pin on the other. And then this will go like this. Okay, yeah. So it goes back to, we've talked about this before, the clutch power on the blue pin versus the silver or the gray pin. So this one has a little bit of clutch, whereas if you put a gray one, it will kind of spin around. So yes, Spot knows the skit. Now we dance. That's right. Okay, so I don't know if PT was laughing at me not finding the right part, or if he's laughing at the Mike Myers reference. But you'll have to check that out after the stream. Send me an email after you do and let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
All right, now this one, we have to make 2 of these. Yeah, so what kind of shows do you watch if you don't watch Saturday Night Live? What are some of the shows that you enjoy?
Right now I just started The Last of Us with Pedro Pascal.
Oh, okay.
It's on HBO Max, but have you heard that one?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty good. I mean, I recommend it.
Okay.
But, I just started that, but I don't know. I don't really watch too much TV, but like Mandalorian, of course.
I'm so glad you mentioned that the other day, because today's Thursday, so there should be another episode that I need to catch up on.
Yeah.
Here's some more Technic. So here's another Technic piece with the axle, and it's got like the handlebars on it. Yeah, so for those of you who missed it, during Pandy's Play Space, I think, Spot, you missed out on this, is that I was able to watch with the chat 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. That was fun. So we hung out together and got to see little Grogu in action.
You said you were catching up on Suits earlier?
Yeah. I now am laughing at the characters. So now I know the character names, and there's a character named Louis Litt, who, gosh, I don't know the actor's name, but he's like the ruthless, always, out to get everybody else, in trouble. Yeah, and they went to the ballet. So he's big into ballet, and then he was talking about he would use different references, ballet references, like get your butt out of here and rebel A out of here, right? And then we're going to pas de deux this thing.
Yeah.
And I was just laughing because just the thought of him being into ballet is just so against that character.
Yeah, that's funny.
So here's I'm going to just show the chat this little set of mechanisms that we just built. So we have this this handlebar kind of piece, and then we have this Technic piece that has this axle with the nail head on the bottom, and then 2 axles on either side. So the 2 axles are going to go onto here and this other Technic piece. And I have a feeling that there might be some sort of other thing in the middle that's going to attach together. So, but these are right now going in like this. So that's what we got. And there is a little bit of play where you can turn these around because I want the flowers kind of here. Yeah, did you watch Suits at any time, or are you just laughing that I just started watching it?
No, yeah, that was the first time I saw it when you put it on the other day. Yeah. But seeing that Meghan Markle is acting,
Acting, yeah. I kind of wanted to see, what kind of character she was. And she does a decent job. I mean, I think a lot of people, now that she's married a prince and, they've gone on this whole tirade about the royal family, there's a lot of haters out there with her. But I mean, if you think about her just as an actress, I think she did a decent job. I mean, they were saying, yeah, she's a D-rated actress. She'll never make the big screen. It's like she made it on 108 episodes of Suits. So that's not that shabby,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be an actor, that's pretty good.
That's actually, a lot of people don't ever get a show like that. They just do commercials for the rest of their lives, right? Yeah, like that Flo character on Progressive, right? That she does the Progressive commercials. I mean, she's doing very well with that, but you don't really see her doing like a TV show for several seasons. So I think I kind of feel bad for Meghan Markle because she is kind of the the butt of a lot of jokes right now. But in a way, they kind of asked for it too, right? It's kind of like
exactly.
that South Park episode was just so perfect. The worldwide privacy tour.
Yeah.
Like, we want our privacy, but pay attention to us. Yeah.
Yeah, they hit that one right on the head right there. They always do that with all the stuff they do.
Yeah. I love South Park. I mean, one of the funniest episodes. This one's kind of old. I don't know if you've heard about the Martha Stewart episode where she teaches you how to make a turkey in the new way of eating.
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And of course, one of my favorites is the underpants gnomes. And I would use this reference when I was teaching classes on business planning. And I would say, okay, you can't be like the underpants gnomes where you say, step A, steal underpants. And then step 2 is a big question mark. And then step 3 is profit, right? Steal underpants. Step 2, step 3, profit. It's kind of like you kind of need to know what step 2 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss my days of teaching. And maybe that's another reason why I like streaming, because it is, I do step back and say things like, and we're putting the sprout in here to connect everything together. Yeah. I was reminded of my Duke training days recently, because I used to teach strategic planning and business plan development for the Duke certificate program in nonprofit management.
Okay.
And and I was like, I remember those days and I know my stuff. All right, so let me give another solo layout here. This is kind of cool. So this is a piece that we made with the combination of this triaxle piece, and then you have a sprout in the middle of a pin, and then we have 2 cones and connecting the cone is another black axle piece. And then this is kind of an interesting way to look at this. This is another limb piece, and then they put the sprout in here to connect the limb to the cone. So then this is very stable, which is nice. So yeah, and now they want us to connect this to that piece that we built earlier. So this is going to go, make sure I got this right. This is going to go like that. Yeah. So a very interesting way to organically put like this pedestal together. So that's step 36. Yeah, and it does take time when you're streaming, explaining things, stopping and explaining, and about what you're working on too.
Oh,
now
yeah,
this is one of PT's, or not PT, Debo's favorite pieces. Is this what he calls it, a glove clip, where it's the clip with the hole, the bar hole.
Yeah.
And they're having us make 4 of these with this little fang coming out of it.
Oh yeah.
Not sure.
I just did that part.
You just did that? Okay.
Yeah. I do like that piece though a lot. I mean, just the way you can clip it in and like.
Yeah, that clip piece, and it's one of Debo's favorite pieces too. And where you just you can attach a bar to this. You can attach, in this case, a claw or a fang, depending on how it's going to be used. I think it's going to be the claws of the parrot feet.
Talons.
Right? Yeah, talons. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that looks like it's a nice little detail that they're adding to this. And this is where PT gets to make fun of me again. Like, where is that piece? Okay. So remember those little arm handles that we were talking about, like the bicycle handles on this piece? Mm-hmm. So this is where this is going to go. So we have the talons, the perfect name for that. More precise. So that's one of the talons of the feet. And then the other one will go here. Yeah, so today I had a nice conversation with a former client of mine when I was talking about strategic planning, because I asked him if he'd send one of my old strategic plans that I did with him over so I can use it as an example. And he's just super cool. Always has been a very big advocate for me. Very supportive. So it's just good to reconnect with him. He's like, "Are you still on the West Coast?" I said, "Yeah, I'm still in Seattle," because I used to live in North Carolina a long time ago. And yep, he's still there, North Carolina. That's why when we were talking about the Waffle House earlier, before we got disconnected on the stream.
Oh yeah.
That the Waffle House, they have this phrase for hash browns. It's like covered, smothered, diced. So it all depends on what you want. I think smothered is like smothered with gravy.
Yeah.
Diced is, I think, either chopped tomato or so they had these different phrases. So I was thinking about phrases for the Waffle House, WAFOL. So we're going to have the Waffle House. And I was going, okay, we could be tiled, clutched, blocked, bricked. We could come up with different phrases for that too. I can't wait. I'm so excited about this. So I was mentioning before my mom called that Carrie Wu recently posted. So if you look at Wooster Bricks, so Carrie Wu was from Lego Masters Season 3.
Yeah,
and
the
the Grandpappies. And he made a mock of the Waffle House. And he sent me a link of, there was a skit just like last week or so with Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
The Waffle House skit?
I've never been to a Waffle House, but I mean, I've heard about like, that type of things happening at a Waffle House. So I was like,
well, okay. That's why it's kind of funny that we're kind of using the Waffle House as like a gathering place for, women builders. So we're calling it the Waffle House. And it was just funny that he shared with me that that skit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, too bad we can't really play that, because then you get like copyright strikes and things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do
But
you know Fazoom is?
I'm sorry, let me get myself out of that. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you know who Fazoom is on YouTube? Or
Yes, he's out of Atlanta.
Yeah, he talks about the Waffle House and stuff. So,
well, that's why I'm so excited. Nobody took Waffle House as a hashtag, as far as WAFOL. So we're gonna run with it. Oh, and Spot the Magic Ninja has it. Yeah, stacked, clicked, cracked, clutched. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write some of those down. I have a list that on my other table that I'll probably mention on Sunday. But I'm so excited because it's kind of like, this is perfect because it's Women's History Month, and I've got all women builders all lined up for this on Sunday. And yeah, maybe in April, I only do mock improv once a month, but if you want to do one of the mock improvs in the future too, you're welcome to participate in that. Yeah, that's where, being able to do a mock in an hour, it's been interesting. Some of the things people come up with.
Yeah, you guys did the Ferris wheel last time, right?
Yeah. I still have to post my photos, but I tell you, Spot the Magic Ninja, he's on here now, and you knocked it out of the park. Oh my God, that was so freaking cool.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool.
All right, I'm gonna do a close-up of this because this is a pretty cool technique that's next. All right, so we made this little sub build, and there's an axle hole going between these 1x2 bricks. And then we have this Technic pin with the axle and then the other axle on the bottom. So this is going to be the base of the bird. And then this connects to that framework that we did earlier with the talons. And so this is going to go in right like this, like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could probably even angle this a little bit so it's not just straightforward, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. All right. Yeah, so going back to the Waffle House, I checked the hashtag, and now I'm going to use Waffle House, I think, for whenever I want to showcase women builders and some of the things that they're working on. It's like, it's another member of the Waffle House. Now, what would be cool is if I could get Waffle House to actually sponsor the Waffle House. But then when I saw that skit on Saturday Night Live, I was like, maybe I don't want to have Waffle House sponsor that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, here's another cool sub build is that we have these snot bricks going all the way around on here. So we have this, just a 2x4 on the bottom, and then these 2x2 bricks on going around. This one has the snot on all three sides, whereas these have it only on the one side here. So this is going to be really good for building some fun things. But yeah, trying to build for the camera is fun. Talking while you're building. And that's why it's really great that you're here, because when I'm doing this alone, I'm just like free forming and talking to the chat. But having you here is really helpful.
Yeah.
Might have to do this more often. So if other people in the chat are interested in that, let me know. Put you on the schedule. Put, just like brick and click, right? Something like that.
Oh, a name for this type of format.
Kind of thing, yeah. I don't know. I just sometimes I come up with some names I like Mock Improv and the Mock Arena. When I noticed that nobody had Mock Arena and it's so much like Macarena, I was like, okay, I'm going to roll with that too. Yeah.
That was a good name.
I try to be good about not taking other people's, handles because, for example, Cali Brick Click, they like to do mockumentary, right? So I don't try to do mockumentary because I really want to be respectful of them, right?
Yeah.
Now here's another cool piece.
Good to be original too.
Yeah, this one is like a shelf piece. It's a 2x2 with this shelf of a 1x2. And I think you get 1 or 2 of these in this set. And then we have also this mixel joint. But yeah, so that's why I think I've been using now Mock Improv for a little over a year and a half. It's going to be, I think, 2 years pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think people know Mock Improv, what it is.
It's a perfect name because that's like exactly what you guys are doing.
That's what we're doing. Exactly. We're asking the chat, okay, what do you want us to build?
Yeah.
And we're going to be building a Ferris wheel today. We're going to be, or we're going to be building, Thanos having brunch in a litter box. I still think that's one of the funniest things we ever did. I mean, you're going to be in a litter box and you're going to be having brunch. And I was like, okay. Yeah, how do we build that?
Yeah, that's a challenge right there.
Yeah, or folding socks in a dojo. That was interesting too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm a little worried about, I think I messed up. Yeah, I put this on the wrong side. It's like, once again, it's like you have to be, when you're talking and bricking at the same time, it gets complicated. You start going, wait a minute. I know I had a brick separator here. Oh, that's okay, I got it. Okay, so we want the red 2x2 round plate here. And then this goes here. Okay. See, what was happening, folks, is that I'm supposed to line up a tile. So I'm supposed to line this tile up, and it's supposed to go right here. The problem is I had put this red 2x2 underneath that, so it wasn't lining up, and I was like, okay, something's not right here.
Yeah, you can always tell when something's off.
Oh, yeah. I think as brick builders, we've gotten to the point that, you can be midway through the build and you go, something's not right here.
Yeah.
You go back and you figure it out. Now, this is nice. This piece, this 1x1 by, I think, 1 2/3, that has the 2 double snot pieces in blue. You don't see this in blue very often. So this is another reason why these are nice to have. Yeah, as a parts pack for $19.99, or just even this Parrot looks like it's going to be just gorgeous once it comes together. Yeah, so going back to the Waffle House, I asked Carrie Wu if he would resend that photo, and if he'd send it with Waffle House spelled with that hashtag. So he said, yeah, I can do that. I was like, thank you. You're awesome. Yeah, he's been getting a lot of commission work, and I don't know if he did that for the Waffle House, but if he did, I might ask him, have them tune into our Waffle House program. I have yet to get a sponsor. One of these days, I'm going to get a sponsor. Like, this episode of the Waffle House brought to you by the Waffle House.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. I just think it would be so much fun to say. Yeah, you're tuning into the Brickanista Broadcast Network in the Waffle House, sponsored by the Waffle House. Yeah, I could say that all day, and it would amuse me. Maybe if I say it enough, it'll happen. You know, they say self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
There you go.
You keep saying it over and over again. Either that or they'll, you know, put you in the loony bin for just like, Brickanista, you can stop saying that now. It's okay. We got it. We got it. It's okay. Yeah. I think this is the wing we're working on. So this little shape, I think, is one of the wings, or at least a portion of the wing. Either that, or it might be one of the sides.
I think it's going to be the back of them, maybe.
The back of the bird?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So how did you come up with the name Brickanista?
You know, it's interesting is when I went to my first convention, I did not know that names were a thing. That, when you go to a convention, people like you're known as Brick Jedi and other things. So I just went to my first convention and I brought a animation with me. And then they said, "Oh, well, if you're going to go to conventions, you need a brick name." And I was like, "Okay." So we were thinking, and I was talking to Don Drysdale and his wife, not the baseball player, but there's an actual brick builder named Don Drysdale. He's a big castle builder, and I was just running some ideas by them, and I said, they said, whatever you do, don't use Lego in the word because then you're infringing on copyright. Because I think I started with Legonista because I was thinking I kind of like coffee. And so barista,
okay.
And then fashionista and brickanista, barista. So we played around with a couple of different terms. And then the other thing I did was I looked to see if anybody was using it. Nobody was using it, thankfully. And nobody's really tried to use it, which I really like. It's either nobody cares or it's, not something people, think about taking. Because I hate it when I feel bad for people if, they have this term that they really like to use, but somebody's using it already. Like that happened to me with the Movie Muse. That was my name when I was doing movie reviews on the radio. I was known as the Movie Muse on KPCA LP 103.3 FM in beautiful Petaluma, California. So I have, if you want to hear any of my movie reviews, they're on Facebook. There's Facebook. Just do a search on Facebook and the Movie Muse, and you'll see what I did is I set up a camera in the studio and it would just live stream. So I was live streaming before the pandemic, before that. But anyway, so I when I went to get Brickanista, I looked and I said, okay, I want to make sure if I'm going to go with this name that nobody else is using it, and thankfully nobody was. So now they know me as Brickanista. And I would tell you, I was so excited when I met Michelle Crafty Life from the Lego Master Season 3. I met her at BrickCon, and she saw me, and I had my mask on, and she looked at me. She goes, "I know you." And then I took my mask off. She goes, "You're Brickanista." Yeah, I am. That was like, oh my God, somebody actually knows who I am, and it's a Lego Master.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was really cool. So I was like, okay, so my name is out there. Some people do know who I am. Yeah, but I kind of see myself as more, I think my skill in the Lego community is this, right? Interviewing people, getting to know them, doing live streams, and just focusing on other people, right? Because I'm an okay builder, but I think there's people who are way better than me. So I like to, give a voice to people who aren't seen as much in the community.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see lots of people focused on, like you mentioned, Fazoom, for example, and like Martin gets a lot of attention with all of his Disney builds. But, you know, there's a lot of really good builders out there who just are not getting the airtime. So I like to, you know, find people like Debo's another good example, is that people don't know much about Debo, but he's an amazing builder. He's a freaking amazing builder. And I just wish people would, you know, give more attention to some of these people who are amazing builders like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I see myself in the community, is at least, and these are people who I respect, but other people might say, yeah, they're an okay builder. But I still think Debo is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I think I saw him do the UFC with like animals on the mock improv. Do you remember that one? Yeah.
Yeah, he is so freaking talented. And when we had to do Thumb Wars on the Cliffs of Insanity, I don't know if you remember that one.
I remember that one. Yeah.
But he put together, you know, on a 16 by 16, it went, I think, a good foot tall, and then he went out.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. He was like, oh, it's the Cliffs of Insanity. I go, man, you are freaking brilliant. Yeah. And then Spot says, I can't imagine anyone using my name. It's hard to get people to notice. Yeah, and you're an amazing builder too, Spot. I mean, that mock improv you did with the Ferris wheel with those little clamshells, that was amazing. So I like to see that, you know, we give at least some people some recognition. All right, so now you could probably see that I'm putting this body piece onto the main portion of this. So now it's getting kind of tall. So I'm going to have to do like these sideways views. But this is a really enjoyable build. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, so I've been Brickanista since 2018. And the other thing that's been fun is that I went to Santa Rosa Junior College for a little bit to learn digital filmmaking. And yeah, I was into Lego then. I think I may have said this story before about the Santa Rosa Junior College has this digital suite that's in the library. It's on the second floor of the main library. And they had just opened it up, I think, in 2018. So they were having a lot of tours come through. And I was working on a project with some of my minifigs. And I was in the digital suite, and I had, you know, the photo light box all set up and all my minifigs all set up. And then this tour group of like 20 people came through. I go, this is Naomi, and these are her Lego figures. Like, hello, can I answer any questions for you? Yeah, it was interesting. See, this was before Lego Masters was a big thing, because I think the really great thing Lego Masters did is that it gave people permission to like Lego, because there was a lot of people who are kind of closeted Lego fans, like myself, you know. And I mean, I didn't mind people knowing, but it's like people would say, you know, isn't that a toy? Should you be doing that? I go, it's art. And for me, I was also using it for my stop motion animation. So for me, it was kind of like, it was a medium that I could use for some of my projects, because we would have stop motion projects. We'd have, you know, camera angles that we would have to work with. So if you set up a minifig, that's kind of an easy way to do some of these projects.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting that, and then in digital filmmaking school, they would ask you to come up with projects to do. And like one of mine was a stop motion animation. And then when I finished that project, I submitted it to, you know, Bricks by the Bay, because they were having an animation convention. And I said, well, you know, this is an animation. So they accepted it. And that's how I ended up meeting. Also, I met Flynn and Richard at a Baylug meeting, and also saw them at Bricks by the Bay too. Oops. I just think did I put that in the right place?
Yeah, I wish I was more into it when I was living in San Jose, because I could have went to like Bricks by the Bay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That was my first official Lego convention. The other one I went to was called Brickpalooza. That was in Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to know the owner, Caleb Raff of the Brick Hut, and I don't have it here. It's in my other room, but you probably remember that Batman cardboard cutout that I had behind me before I rearranged my. So I have that in the other room, and if I get my new setup, I would love to have. I have 3 cardboard cutouts. So one of them is up here. Let me angle my camera. You can see that I've got BB-8 up there. So you can see BB-8. And then I have the Batman one. And then I also have a Scooby-Doo one. And I would just love to have like my 3 cardboard cutouts in a Lego studio sometime.
Yeah. Those are cool.
It'll happen. It'll happen someday. Just takes time. But going back to Brickanista is that I started using that from that day. So I set up an Instagram account of Brickanista, and my very first photo was actually Flexo. There's a competing company to Lego that makes these flexible tendons, and the bricks are actually more rubbery, and they had these Flexo products there. Apparently Bricks by the Bay got in trouble for that because they gave away in every bag a free Flexo set. And the one that I had, in fact, I just had an epiphany. It was a seahorse.
Yeah.
And I forgot, we talked about this before the stream, so let me just do a segue since I'm thinking about it. So, oh no, I just dropped my tail. All right, so I redid the seahorse. So this is the magical unicorn, and here's the seahorse. And of course, I just dropped the tail. I'll go find it, but here's the one that I did with Yano when we were reviewing Lego Masters Season 2. So they're about the same width-wise, but I think mine is better because they didn't even finish the back. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Come on, Lego. I mean,
they could have put some
rounded plates or something. Yeah. So I think mine came out better, and I was using those minifigure legs. You can see one of them here. The rest of the tail fell off, but I'll find it. It's probably like right under my desk, but I can't find it right now. Yeah, so going back to Bricks by the Bay, you would have absolutely have loved going to Bricks by the Bay. So you lived in San Jose for a while?
Yeah, for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were you going to school there, or?
No, I was living at my sister's for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just working down there doing random stuff. But
you're from Chico.
Yeah, I moved back to Chico to help my grandma and stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been to Chico a long time ago, but I just remember it being it reminded me of Calistoga. Have you been to Calistoga with the wineries there and kind of more of a folksy kind of feel to it? People seem like they very, very nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty small town, but yeah. I've never been to Calistoga, so I can't compare.
Yeah, Calistoga is a cool place because they have the hot air balloon races there, and they also have the hot springs that they're known for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So since you're in California, you're closer than I am, but
yeah.
I think though it still was kind of creepy sitting in a mud bath. I think I still have not really gotten to the point where I feel comfortable sitting in a mud bath.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's just something wrong with that. You know, it's like I'm going to pay good money to sit in a mud bath. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something wrong with that for me.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for your skin and stuff, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. And when you finally get over the and I'm just going to say this was me. I just felt kind of repulsed, you know, by like, why am I soaking in all this mud? And who's been in this mud before me, you know? Because, you know, you can't, they say they purify it, quote unquote, by, you know, adding some chemicals or something. And it's kind of like, well, if you're adding chemicals, is that actually better? Or, you know, that doesn't sound like it would actually be good for you.
How do you clean mud, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, I would kind of had that running through my mind going, I'm going to try something once, but I think I've only done a mud bath once. Now that I think about it, I think I still didn't get over my repulsion of it. Okay, so we finished this wing, and I'm just going to focus on this real quick. Look at the nice variation of color. So it starts with this lighter blue and the medium blue, and then moves over to this regular blue. And I think it's just super, super cool how they did that. And then you turn this over, and then you have the axle hole with the mixel joint. But am I missing something here? There we go. Here, now it clicks. So that supposedly, I believe, is going to go here. I believe that one goes here. Yeah. So really cool design.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah. And the mixel joint, of course, allows you to have this full rotation of this wing on the bird. And Spot says, I feel like they do that with all of their ships too. Just give up on the underside. Yeah, you're talking about the earlier, this seahorse. Yeah. I mean, come on, Lego. You could do better than this. It's like, really? Really? But it's a 3-in-1, so we kind of cut them some slack. It'll be interesting to see what the other models look like for this one. Once it comes together. Yeah, oh, so going back to projects. So when I was in digital filmmaking school, we had to have like a keystone project that we would work on. And the one that I picked, it was called Lumicon. It's Comic-Con in Petaluma. So they call it Lumicon. And I got to know the person who coordinates that. His name is Mike. God, what was his last name? But he's known as Towel Man because he wears a towel over his neck like a cape, and he walks around the convention as Towel Man. And so when I pitched the idea to the professor, because they said, okay, what's your keystone project going to be? I go, I want to film Lumicon, and you know they need some help with PSAs. They need some help, you know, filming the convention. And so at the end of the year, they have the showcase where we all, you know, present our keystone projects. And I knew that the professor wouldn't be happy if we cosplayed, but I told the team to cosplay anyway. So we showed up, and you know, but I figure, look, the guy who hired us or who wanted us to do this, he's wearing a towel over his neck. So if he can cosplay, I think we can cosplay too, right?
Yeah.
And so I was dressed as Cho Chang or Hermione. You know, I had one of those Harry Potter robes. One of the team members was, oh, what was the name of that? He was an anime like mechanic. Something D, Infamous D. I don't know, something like that. And then another guy wore a Spider-Man costume. So we made our presentation like that. And I remember that the professor says, we did not ask them to cosplay, like he was apologizing to everybody about it. And they were happy with it. I mean, I think they were totally cool with us cosplaying.
Yeah.
But it was just, you could tell he was not happy. And it was kind of like, lighten up. It's okay. People enjoyed it. Yeah. So I definitely, I think, made an impression. Maybe not the best impression, but I made an impression.
Oh yeah.
They remember who I am. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And this is nice. This boat stud, this 2x2 boat stud in yellow. Usually these are like gray and boring colors. Okay, so where is this going? This going on the underside?
Yeah, it's the tail.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so here's those two clips that we had earlier. Let me get this full screen again for our viewers. So we have these two clips here, and this goes this way. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Oh, that is so dope. That is so cool. I love it. Yeah. So we're now about 3/4 of the way done. You might be done already, though, because I keep stopping to explain things. Are you done already?
No, I'm trying to keep up with the pace. I just started the other wing. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think we're on the next wing. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. Yeah, so that was so much fun filming Lumicon, because it was just like, walking around a Comic-Con, just much smaller scale.
Yeah.
And, the team got to film them. We worked on the public service announcements. So each one of us would have different voices, like, where are you going next? You know what's happening on Saturday? It's Lumicon. So we got a chance to have fun doing the PSAs as well. And we included the client. So the client would say, Lumicon is sponsored by, and he would name off all the different organizations that participate in Lumicon. And
yeah.
And then we said, for more information, go to lumicon.net. I'm going to have to see if I have any of those audio files. So it was just a lot of fun hanging out with all those friends. I miss Santa Rosa. I kind of wish that if things had been different, because I got evacuated from the fires.
Yeah.
If things had been different, who knows how long I would have stayed there. But I do feel like I have post-traumatic stress from that. That was not fun.
Yeah, we had the campfire.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
How close were you to that?
Yeah, it's only Paradise is the city that happened to. That's only like 15 minutes away from where.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But,
oh no.
Yeah, the whole town was just like, you could see
you could see it in the distance, I imagine. Oh my gosh. That must have been scary for you too.
Yeah, and then just all the people just coming to Chico too from Paradise and up there.
Right.
To go over the town kind of for a while.
For, shelter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me when I got evacuated. We went to Sebastopol. Because this is I got evacuated twice. So the first time was the Santa Rosa fire, the one that jumped the freeway, and they closed 101. So there were so many people on the back roads, and some people were just crazy stupid, cutting in front of other people to get past them. And I was just like, come on, people, really, we're all going to go to the same place. And anytime I smell smoke, it kind of gives me flashbacks. So it's kind of like a mild form of post-traumatic stress, I think I have. which is part of the reason why I came to Seattle. Is that there's a lot of rain here. So, and I tell people I will take rain over fire any day, because once you've been through that, and I don't know if you've ever had to be evacuated or not, but
No.
it's so unsettling because you just don't know, what's going to happen next. I think that's the hardest part, is the uncertainty of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain over here in Chico for like the last week. It's just dumping rain, but we finally got a couple days of sunshine.
Yeah, when the sun comes out here, it's actually really beautiful in the springtime and the summer. And yeah, that must be the worst. It is. And I got evacuated twice. So imagine the first time. I should have left earlier because I had been walking my dog that night before the evacuation, and I remember seeing a glow on the hill. And then I noticed that the lights were flickering. So I drove just to kind of see what was happening in the area, to see if other places had also lost their power. And I noticed that the police were out and they started coning off some of the exits.
Yeah.
And I should have known then, because that was around
11:30
11:30 at night, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's an isolated thing or there's an accident. That's why they're coning it off. And then at 3 or 4 in the morning, I was in a ground floor apartment at the time, and you could hear people starting their engines and slamming car doors. And I was like, going, what's happening? And so I went outside, and then they said, yeah, we're being evacuated. It's like, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And it's dark. So the power was out, right? Because the lights had flickered and the power was officially out. So I'm like trying to pack real quickly. I got my dog in the car first, and I started packing and getting everything in place. And then just wall to wall cars, because nobody could use 101 because they blocked it off.
Yeah.
And so we all were heading towards Sebastopol. And it was just, oh my God, I'll never forget it. And then you saw going the other direction, sirens and police cars and fire trucks. And I was just like, wow, something massive is happening. So I was evacuated for 5 days. I couldn't go back to my apartment 5 days later. But I was one of the lucky ones. Nothing was touched.
That's
it
good.
was just, but it was just, it smelled really bad, right? That's the hardest part, is just the smell, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, that was kind of the first kind of sign where I was like, okay, this is the first time I've been evacuated from a fire. I've gone through a hurricane before when I was in North Carolina. I've been through earthquakes. This was the first time I've been through a fire. And then 2 years later, I'm in Windsor, and I get evacuated at a Windsor. And I was just like, at least that one I had prepared. I already had a bug out bag ready to go. It was already in the back of my car.
That's smart.
It was 10 o'clock in the morning, so it wasn't as stressful, and it wasn't, the power was still on. So there was a lot more ease about it than the last time. And I am having a hard time finding, that's because it's 2 of these 1x1s. I was looking for a 1x2. I hate when that happens. It's like, where is that 1x2? That's not a 1x2. It's a 2 1x1s.
Yeah, I'm on the same exact step.
So I've had that move suddenly, leaving everything behind twice in my life. I still have recurring nightmares about packing in a hurry. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. And that's why, when I think about it, I tell myself I was one of the lucky ones, right? Because you pack and you don't know what you're going to come back to. I think that's the uncertainty part, that you just kind of think, well, at least I'm safe. My dog is safe. And so I had a place to go. Not everybody has a place to go. So I was definitely one of the lucky ones. But to have to go through it twice, that
Yeah.
that's hard. The second time, at least I told myself, okay, it's daytime and it's not as stressful. And they told us you have until 2 o'clock to evacuate the city. And I had to be in Oakland anyway for another event for a mini maker fair. So I just left around 10 o'clock. So the roads weren't too bad for me, but the people, the longer you waited, it got worse.
Yeah, you don't want to wait till last minute for that.
No, you definitely don't want to wait till last minute. Some friends of mine were talking about how bad the traffic was as it was getting closer to the evacuation time.
Yeah, I bet.
It's hard to feel like a place is permanent afterwards, too. Yeah, you can't get settled mentally. Exactly. Exactly. And you know what's interesting is my mom, who called me earlier, she tells me, you don't seem to like settle in one place. And I said, well, don't forget, some of my moves had to do with evacuations. It wasn't really my fault, that I had to leave in such a hurry. Okay, what am I doing here? I feel like I'm missing something here. All right, I've got this. I'm on step 101 right now.
Yeah, did you are you trying to put it on top of the orange
Yeah,
part?
here's the 1x2 with the ledge.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if am I supposed to cover the whole thing or is it just
Yeah, you want to.
It looks like I'm covering the whole thing. At least based on the photo.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
The black part should be going over the brown part.
The ledge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay. All right, so I'm okay. Yeah, the instructions are a little weird on this. Okay. Yeah, because she was telling me, how come you move so much all the time? And I'm like, well, it's not all my fault, Mom. And I think, Spot hit the nail on the head. It's kind of like you move someplace and you almost feel like you have to be ready to move because you don't know what's going to happen next. It's kind of unsettling that way.
Yeah.
And I kind of think of it as kind of, I guess, a skill because some people can't move at all anywhere. It's like they're stuck where they are, right?
Exactly.
So like you said you were in San Jose for a while. So being able to leave San Jose and come back to Chico, I mean, that actually works well.
Yeah.
If you felt like you had to stay in San Jose, then, you might feel like you were stuck, right?
Yeah, this is my hometown, so it's pretty easy to come back here.
Right. And that's kind of how I felt when I left North Carolina to come back to California.
Yeah.
But I couldn't afford to live in San Francisco. Can anybody afford to live in San Francisco? Here's another cool piece is this. So we made this kind of sub build and then we have these rounded curves that fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Here.
That's satisfying when they just fit right over.
Yeah, there's like no gaps.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see the profile of the face of the parrot too.
Yeah.
That's really, really well done. That's really, like you said, it's very satisfying. Yeah, so I'm just trying to convince my mom that, don't be alarmed if I move a lot. That's actually a skill. And I was talking to Alexander 23 about how traveling nurses, they travel and move like every 6 months or so, depending on where they need to be deployed. And the military, I said, maybe that's where I get it from because my dad was in the military. So maybe it's kind of ingrained in me to move every 3 years. But, life's short. So, if you want to experience a place, if you're going to move, you're going to move when you feel, able-bodied enough to do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the eyes, those creepy eyes. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to convince my mom not to be too concerned about that. it's okay, Mom. It's okay that if I move every 3 years, it's not like I'm moving every 6 months, because that adds up too, and you start thinking about moving costs, all of that.
But yeah, you're right. It is like a skill though. Like you
Yeah.
got that down pretty well now. Just like I need to find a new place.
Well, and that's one thing I've started realizing with this hobby, that I really respect the people who are super organized, because then you can take your collection and kind of leave on a dime.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, people!
Yeah.
Look at that. That is cool. Oh, I love it. Here, I'll give a close-up of this. Look at that little parrot face. Or is it a macaw? Macaw!
Yeah.
Macaw!
Macaw, yeah.
They say it's an exotic bird. Or exotic parrot, right? Now, the question is, are macaws a subset of parrots? I don't know. I don't know what the official term is for the difference between a parrot and a macaw.
Yeah, I'm not too good on my bird knowledge.
Somebody in the chat, look it up. Yeah. Okay, so now we're doing finishing touches here. So we're almost done. Almost done. And I do love this.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's satisfying when you put that curve here on the top.
Like it all fits.
Yeah. But I'm a little concerned. I have like this plate that's missing. Oh, I should have put it here. There we go. That's where that goes. Yeah. Okay. I think we have a headless bird, and now we've got a full bird now. And it looks like you said, you paced yourself around the same as mine.
Yeah.
I love this. The articulation of the wings here. This is a beautiful, beautiful set.
Yeah, the farther away too, it looks pretty good. Just like.
Yeah, exactly. I think the one little tweak I would do is these. I would maybe fill them in. Maybe put some dots or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do they have nostrils that big? or maybe make that a black 1x2 instead of white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that's the only little tweak I think I would do. But I love the claws here too. And just the base is really beautiful. And this thing can turn, so you can adjust it the way you like it with the.
Oh yeah, it does turn down.
Yeah, it's nice.
Pretty
so
good.
I think this was a success.
Yeah, I like it. I put the brickhead eyes on mine.
Oh, that's a good idea. I have my signature ones. Let me show you the one I like to put on builds they're the ones that look like speedometers.
Oh yeah.
These guys. So I like to use those. Let me add those. See how this looks. Yeah. Adds a little bit of character. This one's kind of lifeless, dull and lifeless.
Yeah.
But I do think it does need to bend forward just slightly, though. It seems like it's a little precarious. But so these are the eyes I like. These guys here.
Oh yeah, that's a cool little piece. Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, just that little bit of detail compared to this.
Oops.
Yeah. And then the other one I like to use are these eyelash ones, and then the ones with the dot in the middle with the black. Yeah. So There we go. We've got it. This was nice. This was really nice. You'll see yours too.
Enjoyable build.
Yeah. And like you said, it looks good from a distance. And I have the Fox build from the Harry Potter series. So I think this will look nice next to that. So I might keep this one intact. My claws came off though. The talons. Like, where'd the other one go? Oh no. All right, I'll have to look for that after the stream. But so yeah, folks, I'd say this was definitely a success. Let me put this here. So congratulations, your first live stream. That wasn't so bad, right?
That was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good to have you here. Yeah. So for those of you who are thinking about this set, I would say this is definitely a winner for the price point, for 253 pieces, the color scheme, and it's a really enjoyable build, lots of articulation, a combination of Technic as well as system bricks together. And it's a nice centerpiece. I think, you know, you could put this on your table, you know, while you're having dinner, and you could also have it on your mantle. And I have a feeling somebody, it might be Yano. I'll have to ask Yano if she's thinking about doing this, but I have a feeling when cosplay time comes around that you could put this on your shoulder. Yeah, definitely. This would be like, hello, how are you? It's the right size, right? You know, somebody's going to do that. Somebody's going to make a harness of some sort, you know, like some sort of harness that you put underneath your cosplay so that your parrot can sit right there.
Perched on your shoulder.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. Or I could see like a cage, someone making like a cage or something for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's definitely lots of possibilities for this. And I'm super excited that we did this together. And thank you for recommending this for a Thrifty Thursday.
Yeah, so, surprised. Yeah, $19.99 can't go wrong.
$19.99. It's a great deal for Thrifty Thursday. And then Spot says, I think Yano built one that's scaled up version of the Parrot. Oh, that's right. I think she did do one. But I'm thinking this is like an actual size. It might actually still be small, though. I think an actual Parrot is still bigger than this.
Yeah.
This is probably more like a budgie. Or if you're a Saturday, or not a Saturday, Second City TV fan, where they talk about budgies. Do you remember that skit? There's another skit about, we have budgies. We have lots of budgies here. Come on down to, I think, Phil and Edna's Budgie Emporium, something like that. It was. Anyway, I like late night silly skits, I guess. But anyway, so thank you, Spot the Magic Ninja, PT McEwen, of course, Brick Jedi here, Lena, anybody who's been hanging out and with us. And it was great having you on the show. You should come back sometime.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you who are new, don't forget to like and subscribe to the stream because every little bit helps. So like and subscribe to the stream. We're also on Rumble. So if you're on Rumble, just do a follow over there. We really appreciate that. And yes, and good night all. Ciao. Thank you, PT. And yes, and you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here on YouTube and on Rumble. You can also send fan mail to P.O. Box 31956, Seattle, Washington 98103. And if you're on Rumble, you can also follow me on rumble.com/user/Brickanista. And if you want to follow Brick Jedi, the best way to follow him would be to come onto one of my shows and he'll be in the chat because you don't have social media, right?
I'm off the grid.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's why I'm really, really thankful that you agreed to be on the show, because I know that you kind of like to stay on the down low when it comes to being on social media and such. So thank you so much for being on the show. And it was just so much fun getting to know you better. And thank you again for recommending this set. This was a great recommendation, and I definitely, I'm thinking I'm going to do the same thing I did with the magical unicorn. I'm probably going to buy a second set to do the alternate builds and leave this one intact because I really like this one.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this one intact probably.
Yeah, and then buy a second set and do that. And this might also be a good set for a re-brick this challenge. We haven't done one of those in a while, so I'm going to need to talk to Debo because I think he would like this too because it has the mixel joints in there. It's got Technic in here. It's got the multiple colors. I think you could do just so many really cool things with this on a re-brick challenge.
Definitely.
Yeah. So stay tuned, folks. A re-brick this challenge is likely coming soon. But don't forget, Sunday, we're going to have our first Waffle House mock improv in the Mock Arena, which is going to be super fun. I've got Yano coming. Mairead is going to be there. We have Deneen McDermott, who's Brickworm, who's going to be there. We have the Brick Babe, who I interviewed on Tuesday, and Mo and me. So right now we have 6 confirmed. I may have some others, but it'll be the first Waffle House mock improv. So super, super excited about that. That's going to be Sunday at 1 o'clock. And I'm going to try to get back into Sunday evenings, starting to do more mocks again, because I need to. I need to get my mocks ready for some of the conventions. So I'm thinking what I may do for this Sunday in the evening is regenerate the ramen shop. The ramen shop dojo that I had with the spinning bowl on top. I have to redo the roof. The roof looks terrible. So I need to do the roof better. So I'm going to start thinking about that for the next couple of days. But so what other plans do you have, Brick Jedi? Any other things you got going on?
No plans really. Yeah, just probably
you're going to hang out in the Waffle House in the chat. Right?
Yeah, I'll watch that Sunday, right?
You'll hang out with us in the Waffle House. Yeah, I'm so excited about using that term. So hashtag WAFOL house. We're going to be using that to showcase some of the women builders around the community. So once again, thanks everybody. So great to chat with you. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, thank you. And may the clutch be with you. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.